iDriveSoCal is brought to you by the very best auto retailers from across Southern California. When it's time for you to buy, or even just kick the tires on the idea of buying, just go to iDriveSoCal.com and click on dealers. iDriveSoCal.com, click on dealers, and get connected. Now, on with the podcast.
There were a number of refreshed and all-new vehicles at the LA Auto Show. There was definitely an emphasis on subcompact and compact crossover utility vehicles. A refresh is when a manufacturer makes slight revisions or design changes to the automobile. Usually it's in the headlights and the taillights, and there might be some changes in the interior. Whereas an all-new vehicle, usually it's an all-new design, new platform, possibly new engines and new transmissions. Some of them are actually called 2019. So a manufacturer is allowed to designate a vehicle a 2019 model the first of the year. Starting January 1st of 2018, a manufacturer can designate that automobile as a 2019 model.
Welcome to iDriveSoCal, the podcast all about mobility in the automotive capital of the United States, Southern California. I'm Tom Smith, and joining me today is a friend of mine, also a transportation engineer, also one of the biggest car guys I know, Clinton Kwan. Clinton, say hello to everybody.
Hi, Tom. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here.
I've known Clinton for a number of years. His knowledge of cars is striking. I've scratched the surface of it. I can't seem to stump him on many of my questions. He's more of a new car kind of guy and what's coming out rather than a kind of like antique or muscle kind of guy. Not that you don't know about those, you do, but it's just your wheelhouse is kind of forward, and I'm getting a vigorous nodding from Clinton right now. But Clinton does a ton of car shows. He's test driven like everything that I've ever mentioned to him. He's like, oh yeah, I've driven that. Oh yeah, I've driven that. Exotics, crazy stuff. And manufacturers actually reach out to Clinton for his input. So with all that in mind, I grabbed Clinton and asked him to be a contributor for iDriveSoCal, and this is our first podcast together. So thank you very much for joining me, Clinton. And if it's okay with you, I think I might give you the nickname The Professor.
Sure, that's fine.
That's okay with you?
That's fine.
All right, cool. So, joining me today is the Professor. So, we dispatched Clinton, aka the Professor, to the LA Auto Show. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do, Clinton, the LA Auto Show is the first of the auto show season. And being here in Southern California, being here in Hollywood, we're all familiar with the awards season. But the LA show is the first of the auto show season. What comes after that?
NICS is the North American Auto Show, also known as the Detroit Show, and that takes place in January.
Okay.
Second is the Chicago Auto Show in February, and the last one is the New York Auto Show in April.
Okay, so LA, Detroit, Chicago, New York.
Yes.
So it just kind of goes west to east.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I'm sure that's how they intended it too. So the beginning of the season is here in LA, and you hit that show. Big picture, what's the overview?
There were a number of refreshed and all-new vehicles at the LA Auto Show. There was definitely an emphasis on subcompact and compact crossover utility vehicles.
All right, and let's explain what is refresh as opposed to all new.
Well, a refresh is when a manufacturer makes slight revisions or design changes to the automobile. Usually it's in the headlights and the taillights, and there might be some changes in the interior. Whereas an all-new vehicle, usually it's an all-new design, new platform, possibly new engines and new transmissions.
All right, so refresh is all new is like every 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years?
Yes, correct.
And then refresh is somewhere halfway.
Every 3 years, usually, if it's a 5-year vehicle.
You know, and cars are kind of like, it's kind of like suits or jeans, or it's like new and improved. Every year you have to do a little something new, right, to spice it up and sell it and market it. But I guess that's how it works in the automotive business. We do something brand new every 5 to 7, and then partially the refresh halfway and something new each year. What do they do in that something new each year kind of thing? Typically, is there a norm, or how do they handle that?
Well, usually, as I mentioned, it's an all-new design, and this is a way to get consumers excited about a new product. A lot of people lease cars now, so that's usually every 3-4 years or so. And this is a great way to get people into a completely brand new vehicle as well.
Right, got that. But But so you have the all new is every 5 to 7. The refresh is halfway in between. What do they do? And we know what they do for the refresh. What do they do like each year to kind of keep it fresh? Is it just different for every manufacturer?
With most manufacturers, there's just minor changes. They might change the number of trim levels. They might add more options as standard equipment. They might change the packaging, but it's different with each manufacturer.
Got it.
The major changes usually don't happen until the third year.
Got it. Okay, and then obviously that's a way for the manufacturers to make money too, right? Because you retool an entire production line to make car A, 2018 car A, and then you need to do that for a number of years in order to make money back on it. But then you have to sell new cars every year too. So I guess that's how they do it, right?
Yes, that's how they do it.
Thank you for helping me walk through that. Now, your top 5 here for 2018. Actually, before we get to the top 5 2018, is everything a 2018 that's coming out, or are some of them actually called 2019s?
Some of them are actually called 2019. So a manufacturer is allowed to designate a vehicle a 2019 model the first of the year. Starting January 1st of 2018, a manufacturer can designate that automobile as a 2019 model.
So then that's why I can be marketed to via television, radio, internet, podcast, what have you, in late 2017 for a 2019 that's going to be available in showrooms
starting January 1st, 2018.
So to the 20 hour, and your top 5, are they all 2018s or you got some 2019s in there?
Actually, there is one that is a 2019 model, and that is the all-new Infiniti QX50. There's actually not a 2018 model, so they've decided to wait until next year to come out with the all-new 2019, and this is a completely brand new vehicle. It has a beautiful, elegant design. It's actually called Infiniti's Powerful Elegance.
Okay, well, hold on. Just a little bit of a spoiler there. I wanted to figure out if we were going to go number 1 to 5 or go 5 to number 1. So before, how should we do this? Have you figured them out that way? Are you looking at it from, hey, this is my number 1 pick, or are you just kind of grouped them all together and said these are my top 5?
I just grouped them all together. Okay. My top 5.
All right, fair enough. Then we can just do as you were starting with the QX50. Let's talk that.
Okay. Yeah, that is a compact sport utility vehicle, or known as a crossover utility vehicle. It's got an all-new engine. It's a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine that produces 268 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. But I think what really distinguishes this compact utility vehicle is the new design. I think it's one of the best-looking compact utility vehicles out there, along with the Audi Q5 and the Volvo XC60. And the interior has a very premium feel to it. Infiniti calls it a handcrafted feel.
Okay.
As soon as you step into this vehicle, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is beautiful inside.
All right. So the Infiniti QX50, but that's the 2019.
It's a 2019 model, and it will come out, I believe, sometime in the spring of 2018.
And that is a complete brand new. It's not refresh.
It's a completely brand new vehicle.
All right. Well, that's
not
exciting.
A refresh.
That's exciting. So the 2018, they had a 2018.
Actually, there was
no 2018 at all.
So there is no 2018.
So they went from 2017 to 2019.
Yeah. And sometimes manufacturers will do that. When they're coming out with a brand new vehicle, they will just skip a model year and move on to the next.
That's interesting. Now, being a car guy, do you ever look through the Auto Traders or the Cars.coms of the world and notice anomalies where somebody says, the 2018 QX50, and you say, there wasn't a 2018 QX50.
Yeah, I've actually caught that a number of times on websites or magazines where there are those mistakes.
See what I'm saying, podcast listeners? The professor. All right. So the 2019 QX50. What's the next one?
One of my favorites, and something that I've really been looking forward to, is the refreshed 2018 Mazda 6. If you look at every other mid-size sedan in that segment, such as the Toyota Camry, the Honda Accord, or the Nissan Altima, they all offer a base engine, which is a 4-cylinder engine, and then they offer a more powerful engine, either a 4-cylinder turbo or a 6-cylinder engine. So this is the first time for this generation the Mazda 6 is going to get a more powerful engine, and it's It's going to get the same 2.5 liter turbocharged inline four that the CX-9 has. It produces 227 horsepower, but more importantly, it's got 310 pound-feet of torque, which is the most torque of any midsize sedan in its segment.
So and we just talked about Nissan, the Infiniti, which is obviously from the Nissan family, and they've never had. You step on one of those cars, you know that there's some engine underneath you, right?
Yeah.
And Mazda is taking this. You said it's a 6?
Yeah, it's the Mazda 6. It's their midsize vehicle, and I think it's one of the best looking midsize sedans on the market, whether you're talking about non-premium or luxury vehicles. And it's got beautiful curves. It looks great from every angle, from the front, the rear, the side, 3/4 front, 3/4 rear.
And now it's got a little bit more when you step on it.
Yep. Also, for 2018, there is a new signature trim. And for those of you who know about the CX-9, that has a signature trim as well. So this is very similar. It's got the Napa leather. It's got a Japanese senwood accent in it as well. So another thing they've done is they've refreshed the interior and made it, and they've given it a real premium feel and look to it as well.
Very nice. Okay, so we got the QX50 from Infiniti. We got the 6 from Mazda. What else do you got?
There's also the all-new Lexus LS 500, and that is their flagship full-size, what I call executive luxury sedan. So it's comparable to a Mercedes S-Class, a BMW 7 Series, Audi A8. And this one has a bold and expressive design. I think it's one of the most stylish full-size sedans out there. It also has some really interesting interior treatment. It has wood and glass accents that have a Japanese cultural influence. There's also an all-new engine. They will no longer be using the V8 in the full-size sedan. It's a 3.5 liter V6 turbo, but it produces a 416 horsepower.
So is that actually more horsepower than the V8 they were putting in it previously?
Yeah, it's actually quite a bit more. The V8 engine in the previous generation LS had about 380 horsepower. So this is quite a bump up, but more importantly, it's got 442 pound-feet of torque. So it's got a lot more torque.
Now you're talking, you mentioned horsepower a lot, and you mentioned torque a lot. For me personally, I always look at it as just simply, and I think this is the same thing, just using different metrics, but power to weight ratio, right? I got X number of pounds, I got X number of horsepower. The end result is ultimately I'm going to go Y fast, right? Is that the same?
Horsepower is what gives you the top speed in a vehicle.
Okay.
And the torque is what gives you the acceleration. So a lot of people here in America, they really just look at the horsepower.
Okay.
But if you want to see how fast a car will go from 0 to 60, you also really need to look at the torque. And turbocharged engines usually have a good amount more torque than a normally aspirated vehicle, a car that's non-turbocharged.
And ever since the economic collapse, 08, 09, we've been producing cars that are significantly more everything, better gas economy,
more fuel
nicer
efficient
to the environment, more efficient. Thank you. And as part of that, the engines are shrinking, but we're tuning them up more, it seems, including with turbos. Now, back in the day, I remember turbos like, oh, turbo, sweet. It's like, oh yeah, but it's got this lag when you step on it, right? The turbo lag is kind of a thing of the past.
It really is a thing of the past. If you test drive most cars now that are and a lot of the cars are turbocharged, you'll feel that torque pretty instantaneously.
Right
There's
away.
not a lot of lag in it, and probably very few models where you will experience that lag.
Okay. All right. So we have the. You said it was a new or refresh LS.
This is an all new LS 500.
Okay. All right. So we got 3 down. What are the other 2?
Probably my favorite car.
One at a time, of course.
Yes, is the 2018 Kia Stinger, and there were 4 of them at the LA Auto Show that I saw. Two standard Kia Stingers, and then there were 2 which I believe were from SEMA, so they were heavily modified.
All right.
And the new
and SEMA, for those that don't know, I think everybody listening to this particular podcast is probably going to know SEMA, but SEMA is
the Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association show in Las Vegas.
So out in Vegas, they tune up the cars, doll up the cars, take them from the manufacturer, and make them even more special.
Yes.
So, sorry to interrupt you. The Stinger, they had 2 regulars and 2 that were from SEMA?
Yes. And the Stinger, it's an all-new vehicle. It's a very specialized vehicle. There's really, I wouldn't say anything in its class right now. It's a sportback, so it's similar to an A7, an Audi A7, or a Porsche Panamera, but slightly smaller. I've read some car reviews, and a number of editors have compared it to both vehicles. This car is available with 2 different engines, either a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged that produces 255 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. What most people are excited about is the GT version, and that has a 3.3-liter V6 turbocharged, producing 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque. The GT version actually is faster from 0 to 60 than a Porsche Panamera.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now the Panamera can come with a number of different engines as well. So which engine are you talking about?
Well, we'd be talking obviously the base engine. You wouldn't be able to compare it to the other engines.
Okay. Just to be clear there.
Yes.
All right.
But it's about half the price of the Porsche Panamera.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
And what? So what are we talking about for pricing on this car?
The base Stinger starts around $32,000.
Okay.
That's with the 2.0 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine.
Okay.
Then there's a premium version, which is about $37,000. Then the GT version, which has the 3.3 liter V6 turbo, starts at about $39,000. Then there's a GT1 that's about $43,000, and then the top of the line GT2 is about $49,000, I believe, with rear wheel drive, and about $51,000 with all wheel drive. So that would be fully loaded.
So we're talking about a $19,000 swing from the base to the top of the line. 32 to 51, right?
Yep, about $19,000.
Doing my math right on that?
Yep. But yeah, you're also getting a much bigger and more powerful engine.
You get a lot more car.
You're getting about 110 more horsepower.
All right.
Yeah, 255 to 365.
And that is not a refresh. It's a brand new model.
This is an all new model. Kia's never had a car like this before, and there's really nothing else on the market in this segment at this price point. Volkswagen will be coming out with an all new model to replace the CC, which is called the Arteon, but that will come out next year. I believe it's a 2019 model. It's going to be in that same class. It's got the Sportback design, but it's only going to be available in a 2-liter inline-4 from what I've read. I don't believe they will have a more powerful engine.
The Professor, ladies and gentlemen, the Professor. So that gives us 4 of the top 5. What do we have for the number 5?
Number 5 will be the new top-of-the-line Porsche 718 Boxster and Cayman GTS. And this has a 2.5-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine producing 365 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. It has a top speed of 180 miles an hour and will hit 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds with a PDK transmission.
With a PDK transmission?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the automatic, not the...
Is that pretty darn quick?
I guess that's pretty quick. 3.9 seconds.
Pretty darn quick.
Yes.
PDK. That's quick with a KW.
That's a good one.
Okay, so but that is basically a new souped up Boxster.
Yeah, it's the new top of the line trim.
Okay.
So the 718 is already out. Most people call it the Boxster or the Cayman. That's what it was known as when it came out, and Porsche decided to designate 718 for both models.
Okay.
And the Boxster is the convertible version, and the Cayman is the hardtop version.
Okay, so those were your top 5 from the LA Auto Show this year, 2017, but those are the 2018s that are coming out, except the QX50, which is the 2019. What about anything in your back pocket? Any 1 or 2 honorable mentions?
Yeah, I've got a couple of honorable mentions. The Jaguar E-Pace, that is an all-new Jaguar as well. That is a subcompact crossover. So that would be comparable to the Audi Q3, the BMW X1, and the Mercedes GLA. It's a very small compact crossover. Most of the vehicles in this segment honestly don't look very good.
Okay.
But I think this one is very, very stylish. It's got a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 246 horsepower, and 269 pound-feet of torque.
All right. Did you say you had a couple honorable mentions? You have one more for us?
Yeah, one more. It would be it's a 2019 model, and it's the all-new Audi A8, which is their flagship luxury sedan.
Yeah.
And this one is loaded with a lot of new technology. It's got level 3 autonomous capabilities. They also say it's got the lowest curb weight of any vehicle in its class. I think they use a lot of aluminum. Yeah. It's also ultra luxurious inside, and that's synonymous with Audi interiors. They're really known for their interiors. Anyone who's driven an Audi knows that they make some of the best interiors out there.
Okay. Level 3 autonomous.
Yes. It wouldn't be able to drive itself fully, but it's I would say it's mid-level autonomy.
So that means I'm on the highway, I can take my hands off the wheel?
Yeah.
Entirely?
Yeah. And there are some situations, I believe, where they will warn you when you need to put your hand on the steering wheel.
Okay. Can you define, and is it just the 3 levels of autonomy? Level 3, 2, 1? 1,
No,
2, 3?
I believe it gets pretty technical. I believe there's 5 levels of autonomy. So level 5 would be fully autonomous.
Okay. All right. I think that's another podcast topic entirely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Did I miss anything? So do you want to cover any last points for us?
I think we've covered pretty much everything. Those were my favorite cars at the LA Auto Show this year for 2017.
All right. There you have it. The Professor Clinton Kwan's favorite picks from the 2017 LA Auto Show, and those are the 2018 plus 1 2019 model. And this was our inaugural voyage as Clinton Kwan, the contributor, and also the professor. So, Clinton, thank you again very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Oh, and one other thing. Clinton is very active in auto shows all over the Southern California area. And on our website, you can click on his Instagram, which is very active on. But what is that Instagram again?
It's SoCal Auto Enthusiast.
SoCal Auto Enthusiast. If anybody wants to follow Clinton and his auto show comings and goings, that's where you can do that. Thank you so much. Until next time, this is iDriveSoCal. I'm Tom Smith. Take care. This episode of iDriveSoCal was engineered by Micah Palmquist and J-Dubs produced on site.